Hello, friends. I'm just sitting in my car. It is so cold here. Let me show you how cold it is in Alberta right now in Canada. It's like so cold. How do I flip this camera around? Look at my. Oh, I can't zoom in. It says it's minus 24, and that's not even that cold. It was like minus 35 Celsius today. It is crazy, crazy cold here. It's frigid. I don't know how many more ways I can say it's cold. My car is creaky because it's so cold. But this is the Great White North, and this is, our winter season here, and I actually love it because it's beautiful. And I'm very lucky where I live because I live in southern Alberta. I grew up in northern Alberta where it was even colder when I grew up. Like, it would be so cold in the winter, you would get random nosebleeds because it was so cold and so dry. But in southern Alberta, we are lucky enough to get a weather phenomenon called a Chinook. And for anybody who's from the Calgary area or southern Alberta, they understand, like, we can go from minus 30 one day to like plus 10 the next because these air inversions come in and they bring all this warm air in, and we get like blanketed in this weird cloud cover. It's like a Chinook arch, and it keeps all this warm air in, and it's so cool. Like, it's so neat because it's balmy when it does. So it's hard to adjust to the cold winter when it's not consistent, but I'm so grateful. Anyway, how is everybody doing? I wanted to come on for a little live and focus on gratitude and focus on our mindset, because our mindset is so important in our journey. And a lot of people will laugh at me because they're like, "Oh, you're so happy, you're this." And I'm like, you know what? I've always been an optimist where I see the glass half full, but I'm also a realist where I understand that it's not always a viable option. The option for us, though, is to acknowledge when we're feeling not glass half full. Acknowledge it and ask why you're feeling that way. This is our superpower as humans. When we can come out of our conscious mind, which is our brain, our like logic, and tune into our subconscious, which is our heart, our heart mind coherence, we can really tune into our intuition that way. And you know what? A lot of people talk about the heart mind coherence, a lot of beautiful teachers. And it's a tough one. It was one of the things I struggled with the most in my journey at the beginning because I had so much trauma trapped in my nervous system from childhood and young adulthood, from being bullied. I had a near-death experience in 2012. I was very self-deprivating. I was a very negative. I was only negative to myself. I was so mean to myself. And I realized one day that that is not serving me and it's not creating the best version of me. So I really started to work on myself. And if anybody else is at that point right now, give it a little like, give it a love, comment below. You can do it. If I can overcome my obstacles, anybody can. And it starts with little mindset shifts. Something as simple as, instead of saying things can't get any worse, saying to yourself, things are only going to get better. Even if you don't believe it at the beginning. Because what happens is our subconscious mind is running on programming. It's running on experiences we've had. Whether these experiences are, all of our experiences are perceived experiences. So if you're a little kid and you've had something happen that your mind deemed as traumatic, where maybe it wasn't super traumatic, but it creates a trauma pattern in your brain. And that will be running in the background. And just think of like years and years of different things happening, big or not big. Everybody's stuff is big to them, and that's something I learned. Don't make your stuff smaller than somebody else's if it's big to you. And I know some people, live through really horrible upbringings, and then some people don't. But the people who don't, but they've had little things happen, it seems like it's that horrible. So shift your mind. And how you do that is you just start rewiring it. You start reparenting those parts of your mind. You start unleashing your true power. You start harnessing it. We have things that get stuck in our chakra systems. It's almost like gunk. When we're pulling off the outside world around us, the 3D world, we're pulling energy through and filtering it through our chakras. And what do you think that does? That clogs them up with outside energy. What we're meant to do is flow energy from source down through our pranic tube, through our crown chakra, through our body, and push it out. And this is where people get super magnetizing. Have you ever been around somebody who's like that? I know I have. And they're magnetic because they're flowing source energy, and they believe in themselves, and they have an open heart. that can be a challenge in itself, getting to be able to open our heart, because we all build walls up around it. If you're looking for a little extra support, I'm actually hosting a full moon healing circle next full moon, which I think is the 24th. I'm hosting it because I can't do it on the actual day of the full moon because I'm not here. But if you want to join, I host them online. I teach you how to work through your chakra system. I teach you how to unleash these parts of yourself that need to come to light so they can transcend and be transformed and alchemized. But it's powerful. It's powerful. And you know what? I even have days still where I feel like I'm not showing up as my best self. But you know what? I show up. And if it's a day that wasn't 100%, I work with myself. I set quiet time. It is so important to find the time of nothingness and just tune in and listen to your highest self. Listen to your intuition and just feel into it. And be that version of yourself that you know it's within you. We just forget it from time to time. You know, when we put too much emphasis on where we need to be, how we need to look, how we need to act, we're not showing up as our best self. We're showing up as a version of ourselves who is in a lack mindset for a version of ourselves that exists on a different plane of existence. But you're never going to become that version of yourself by dreading who you are now. You're going to become that version of yourself by showing up as a better and better version every day. And what I mean is, you know, one day, maybe take a time out for yourself. The next day, maybe go to the gym. Maybe eat a little healthier and create these healthy patterns. Catch yourself when you're saying negative things in your mind and rewire them. I even still have to do that. Sometimes we want to beat ourselves up because we've made a mistake. Well, what's the point? Make amends. First of all, make amends with yourself. Second of all, make amends with those around you if you've harmed or hurt anybody. And then show up as a better version of yourself. Don't do that next time. Learn from the transgressions that have happened. Notice how I didn't use the word mistake? Because a mistake is a perceptive thing. It's perspective. It's all perspective. Take your glasses off. Clean the lenses so you have a new and fresh perspective on life. Anyway, I love you. Keep an eye out for some amazing collaborations and courses coming up. I am so blessed to be surrounded by such beautiful spiritual coaches and guides and get to work with them and get to serve you. And I'm always here. But keep an eye out. And if you want to be a part of my email list so you don't miss any upcoming events, comment below and I'll send you the link to sign up. I love you. Bye.